Aha! Showtime!
Welcome to the party, pal!
Say hello to my little friend!
Here's Johnny.
Who's the best?
Put that cookie down!
What's in the box?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
This is Video Store Clerks. Welcome to...
How you doing? Yeah, the same look on my face, Mike. How you doing?
How you doing?
Welcome to the store, everybody. This is the Video Store Clerks Podcast. We're joining you tonight. It's Tuesday night. We are live, 10 p.m. Eastern, as we are every week. So if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. Leave a comment. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies.
Tell them all.
Tell a stranger.
Tell your grandma, your grandfather, your cousins, the cousins you don't like, the cousins you do like. Tell them all.
Yes. Tell them all. It's free to do, so click the button. Click it. Click it. We'll wait. Click it. Got it? Got it?
Click it real fast.
On with the show.
Like you love it.
Okay. On with the show. They get the idea. They know what to do. They know the drill. Again, this is the Video Store Clerks Podcast. We are your clerks for the evening. I am Dave.
Chad, man.
1-2, Mike is coming for you.
Oh, shit.
Nasty.
3-4, Chuck's a whore.
That's a good one.
Mr. Trebek. Tonight's movie is a classics. Iconic. One of the greatest, I think, the greatest horror movie ever made. That's right. We're talking A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. I make that distinction because once upon a time in 2010, we'll just mention this and get it out of the way now because it is a thing that happened. There was a remake done. There. We acknowledge it and we won't bring it up again.
Wait, I thought you were talking about the remake. You don't think the remake's the greatest one ever made?
No.
Greatest horror movie of all time?
Oh.
Wow.
Hell no.
Jackie Earl Haley is turning over in his grave.
Say Earl Harley.
Earl Haley.
I'll say it wasn't his fault, but we'll just leave it at that.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he's not even dead yet.
No, he's alive and well. I don't know if he's well, but I hope he
Sure
is.
he is.
But anyway, no, we're focused on the 1984, written and directed by the great Wes Craven,
R.I.P.
and starring as Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, because 40 years of Freddy. Where does the time go?
Although if you do look at the credits, it says Fred Krueger.
Yes, in the first, was it the second one too? Was he Fred in the second one as well?
No, it's
I
Freddy
don't
the
know.
second one. Freddy's Revenge.
He became Freddy in the second one. I don't know if it was the second or third one that started. But yes, so this is going to be a lot of fun. Been looking forward to this one. We're celebrating 40 years of Freddy. Uncle Freddy, we love you. Before we get to that, we will start the program as we always do, and that is with the news.
News.
1, 2, we're gonna watch the news. 3, 4, what the fuck for? She at a Trump rally?
The noise.
Noise.
Sponsored by...
Yeah.
Kicking things off with the news is your top 10. It's your top 10 domestic box office winners over this past weekend. What do we got?
What do we got? Number 10, Terrifier 3.
Oh, shit.
Still hanging in there.
Still hanging in there. Nice.
Hell yeah.
Believe it. I cannot believe it. Terrifier 3, number 10, doing 1.5 mil this week. The last 5 weeks, it did $53.5 million.
Raking it in.
Killing it. Number 9, We Live in Time, doing $2.2 million, bringing in 21.7 in its 5-week run. Number 8 is Here.
Here. Well, that's that Tom Hanks movie. Isn't it?
Here.
Oh, yeah.
Doing 2.4 million, bringing in 9.4 mil in 2 weeks.
That's not so
Not so good.
Tom
I bet
Hanks,
the
Robin
movie's
Wright.
not so good, too.
I'm sure it's not my kind of movie anyway.
good.
Tom Hanks is an
Work here
asshole.
anymore. Number 7 is Anora, doing 2.5 mil this week, putting its 4-week release to 7.2 million. With number 6 being Conclave, doing 4.1 million this week, putting its 3-week release to $21.5 million.
People saying good things about Conclave. You know, as far as films go, might not be our cup of tea per se.
It's not, but it looks
There's-
like good though. Like I mean,
You know, Ralph Fiennes, I think Lithgow's in that. They're saying some Oscar-worthy performances. So, if you're a fan of that kind of stuff, go check it out.
not my cup of tea. Dropping
found
quick
this
to number
other
5
movies.
is Smile 2. What?
Isa da
That's what
Popa.
your fans- Eh,
Number 5 is Smile 2, doing 5.1 mil this week, doing $60.7 million in the last 4 weeks.
eat a cock. Fuck that movie.
Speaking of, number 4, The Wild Robot, doing 6.6 million this week, doing 7 weeks for $131 million.
That's
I
wild.
heard that movie was sad as fuck.
Sad.
Still gotta see it.
I'll never know.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty sad.
And we're starting Christmas off early. The number 3 movie, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever.
What?
Yep. Did
All right.
$10.8 million on its first weekend release. Well, the movie number 2 is the one I want to see, Heretic.
Yes.
First week release, doing $11 million. See
I'm hearing good
Hugh
things.
Grant play a crazy psycho.
I like the concept, but I don't like Hugh Grant, so I don't know.
I'm not a huge Hugh Grant fan. That's why I want to see him do this. This shit looks all right.
I like seeing actors who we're used to seeing play like the goofy guy who goes to this, that, and the other, and then he finally gets the girl, that kind of show, whatever. I like it when they end up playing bad people. And for what I'm being told, he plays a really sinister character in this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good.
he's-
Not a fan of his either, but
he was always the rom-com guy, the Bridget Jones shit and those type of films. Chick flicks.
Yeah, it could be like that, like the thing with like Mr. Brooks. Fucking Kevin Costner shit.
right.
You never know.
Hopefully better, but
You never know.
But not the talented Mr. Ripley,
No.
believe it or not.
ugh. Okay, shit.
Who can guess what number 1 is?
It's got to be Venom, right?
Yep. Still Venom. Last
Is it
name.
Venom?
Until next week.
Nice.
Until next week, it's going to be unseated. You heard it here first.
All right.
Red one next week with our boy DJ, The Rock,
DJ
Fighting-
Tanner.
fighting snowmen and shit.
Well, this week Venom did 15.8 mil. It's been out for 3 weeks, doing $114 million. Not very good.
Hey,
Man,
they
you're
almost got their
slinging
money
the
back.
cards tonight.
Slang it.
All right. In other news, we have some very, very sad news to report. The saddest
Yeah.
news we've had on here in a while. That's right. Mr. Tony Todd passed away way too soon at age 69. He passed away November the 6th. I think it was made public on the 8th, however, but he passed away on the 6th. Of course, probably best known as Candyman or Final Destination, maybe. But he has a resume miles and miles long, going all the way back to the 80s. Like he has a Samuel L. Jackson on his resume. Movies, TV, video games.
I mean, dude, you can't forget about his portrayal of being on Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Fuck yeah.
You know what I
Remake.
mean? Like that was
Like that. Like tons
the
of
remake.
stuff you even forget he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I forgot he did voiceover work in one of the Transformers movies.
Wasn't he in The Rock too?
Yeah.
He was one of the military guys.
And he also voiced Venom in the Spider-Man animated series as well.
Oh,
I didn't know that. Yeah, he just has one of those resumes. You're like, oh shit, he was in that, or oh shit, I forgot he was in that. It's just
the Hatchet films. Yeah, we could go on and on.
So we gotta have a Tony Todd night. We gotta have a Tony Todd night one of these days.
I'm down.
I agree.
I'm down.
We could do that anytime.
He's one of the greats.
Also, another good guest star on Psych.
Right? Yeah.
Everybody good was on Psych.
So with the rest of the news tonight, I made a point, because of that news, I made a point to try to find some lighthearted, funny stuff that'll bring a smile back to all our faces.
Killer bees on this one?
And we'll start with this one. The movie Wicked is right around the corner. It's the live action film of wait, let me finish. Hold on. The live action film of the famous Broadway play. So because of that, merchandising. Real money from the movie is made. So they started putting out a bunch of merch to coincide with the release of the film, including action figures. Now, this is where things get a little hairy, because on the back of said action figures directs kids to a website, wicked.com. Wicked.com, everyone, is a porn site.
Uh-oh. No.
So I would say a lot of people didn't do their due diligence, I suppose. So
was it .net?
Yeah, it was wicked.com. I knew that. Well, wait, I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway.
He's like, no, it's not.
Wait a minute. That's not an oil can the Tin Man's holding.
That's not even a Tin Man. It's P. Diddy.
So I don't know. It was people were taking putting screenshots up of all over the internet, and at first it was thought to be fake, but no, it's very real. Wicked.com.
The question is, did they do that intentionally to generate publicity, or did somebody really screw up?
I feel like somebody just fucked.
Or is it really the pieces of shit of Hollywood? Or is it really a conspiracy? There's all kinds of questions.
It's a conspiracy.
I don't know
We'll
what
never
to
know.
believe anymore.
We'll never know the truth.
That's why I like doing these older movies, because it takes me back to my childhood when I felt safe. Anyway.
It's really weird saying that, but yeah. I can't consider what we're talking about, but yeah. but I agree.
I feel safe.
In other news, the Penguin
child killer
recently had its series finale, maybe, as season 2 has been talked about. And the Penguin on the HBO Max series that was just thought to be a garbage spinoff cash grab
was better than the movie.
Was better than the movie. And I'll tell you right now, give this show a chance. Even if you don't like, even if you've never seen superhero, even if you've never seen the Batman movie that this film is a spinoff from, give this show a shot.
Even if you don't know who Batman is,
give it a chance. But yeah, the final episode of the season has one of the highest IMDb ratings for a TV series with an incredible 9.7, which puts it in the same league as The Last of Us and Breaking Bad. If that gives you an idea.
Good shit.
I don't know if The Last of Us should be up there, but whatever.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It started out good,
didn't
and then
turned into a
well, if you watch Walking Dead,
I say, what the hell?
If you watch Walking Dead, it's the same fucking thing.
It should be like From, because From's dope.
In other news, this one brought a smile to my face. I hope it does the same for you, and it works out perfectly, because we were just talking about this gentleman, Tom Hanks.
Oh,
Tom Hanks recently did an interview where he sounded like an asshole.
What a shocker.
And talking about movie critics,
Just sounded
critics
like one.
talking about the movie we just mentioned here. And I quote, "Let me tell you something about these cocksuckers who write about movies."
Oh, yeah.
Can I say that? Somebody who wrote about it said Tom Hanks has to stop hanging around with veterans of TV because this is just like shot on TV and it's not much of anything. That same person then wrote about the cult classic, That Thing You Do. Same exact person. Now, unquote. And now, the thing with being called the nicest guy in Hollywood, you kind of,
He was Mr. Rogers.
yeah,
He's
you
an
kind of
asshole.
fuck yourself because anytime you do lose your temper, you're really going to get called out. And I just wanted to hear Tom
But he's an
Hanks say
asshole. We all know it
cocksuckers.
anyway.
That was very funny to me. That was very funny to me.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what
cocksuckers.
cocksucker's going to bury your movie. There's a quote for you. Lieutenant Dan! You ain't got no leg.
Fuck Forrest Gump.
Wow.
Fuck, that's one of the most overrated fucking movies of all time.
Jenny.
Tom Hanks. Fuck that asshole.
And finally, we'll leave with this because it's more good news. The upcoming film Nosferatu has had screenings. People have seen this movie. Rave reviews, including and especially to Johnny
Nice.
Depp's daughter, Lily Rose Depp, I believe her name is.
Lily Rose
Calling
Depp.
her Oscar worthy.
Nah.
So we'll see.
Hell yeah.
That kind of surprised me too. But we'll see.
Yeah, you see?
And even Fede Alvarez, who recently did Alien Romulus, said Nosferatu is the best horror movie of the year.
Mm.
Well, didn't have a ton of competition.
Mm.
Oh yeah, one more piece of another piece of good news. We didn't mention last week was that Margot Robbie finally gave birth to her kid.
Oh yeah,
had a little baby boy. So congrats to her.
Finally, after 3 years, she finally gave birth.
3
Sorry,
years.
you
Holy
said
hell.
funny.
Finally.
Yeah.
She'd been pregnant for 3 years. And finally,
that little
she pooped it out.
That little shit was crowning. He just wouldn't come out.
Margot Robbie, if you ever see this. But she won't, so we're good. It's one of the perks of having a small YouTube channel. Nobody really pays attention to this.
No, we like
Anyway.
No, she's a sweetheart. I've met her a couple times. Sweetheart.
She's cool.
Sweet child.
Oh, nice. Sweet child, yes.
Beautiful. So that does it. Enough of the news. I've had it. No more news. It's time for
I'm getting tired.
Night-
Film.
Oh shit. Well, whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Where's my coffee?
Coffee?
You guys bring coffee?
I got no coffee.
It tastes like
I
shit.
just took some stay awake.
It is shit, Austin.
I'm on the hypnosil. I'm on that hypnosil.
We got the good stuff.
I've got insomnia, so.
So you're good. A Nightmare on Elm Street was released on November 9th, 1984 in limited theaters until its nationwide theatrical release on November 16th, 1984. That's fucking sick. And grossed $57.1 million worldwide on a budget of $1.8 million. Holy fuck. Released by New Line Cinema, which is why New Line Cinema has the nickname The House That Freddy Built. The film received critical acclaim upon its release and has since been considered to be one of the greatest horror movies ever made. We just said that. That's awesome. In 2021, A Nightmare on Elm Street was selected for preservation by the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. The film spawned a franchise consisting of 6 sequels, a television series, a crossover with Friday the 13th, various other merchandise, and yes, a remake of the same name.
And quote, unquote, by Lloyd Sachs from the Chicago Sun-Times, tingling, One of the best films of its kind. Nightmare Delivers.
Tingling.
It tingled Lloyd Sachs.
Tingling.
It tingled Lloyd. It tingled Lloyd Sachs. Got tingled. So, Nightmare on Elm Street.
His sack got tingled.
Sachs got tingled. This is actual quote. It'll tingle your sack. And boy, did it.
Yes. And this is one of the films I wish I could go back in time. You know, you erase my memory, begs, go back in time and be there on opening night to see this movie with an audience. I bet that was pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah, especially if you're a 4-year-old sitting in the theater watching Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'd never forget that shit.
Who let this kid in here?
I was only 3.
Dad said it was a funny movie. He lied.
I mean, maybe go back at the age I am now. Well, I mean, if I can go back in time, I guess I'd be dead.
So you're saying you want to track down Doc Brown, get in the DeLorean, go back to 84, and watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's what I would do with a time machine, yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
Good answer. Good answer.
Fuck Hitler. I'm going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then after that, I'm going to go see Alien and other stuff.
That could be
a good movie.
Yeah, that's what we do with it.
Yeah, that could be your like spin-off movie where you
Dave's going to go see Deep Throat for the first time.
Wow.
With Travis.
There's a delay on here. I'll be right back. I'm delaying.
Oh, you're going to say some shit like that and leave.
It's like Deep Throat. I got to go, guys. I got
Whoa. Speaking of.
I got to go return some videotapes.
I have to return some videotapes.
So I've always been Team Freddy. It's been my jam.
I mean,
I agree.
Oh, there.
I have been too, but like I said earlier, though, like I feel like I like Freddy better, but I feel like the Friday the 13th franchise is a little stronger.
It was like what I was saying earlier. It was like I'm more Team Jason than anything, but like I don't really care. Like I like the first Friday the 13th movie, but it's my least favorite of the franchise. And Nightmare on Elm Street, I mean, the first one is just about the only one I really give a shit to watch.
Wow,
you know, it is such a like an iconic film. I mean, it was when you know we first got the dude with the fucking razor sharp claws and dreams, and it just kind of went cuckoo. Everybody wanted Freddy. You know, like it still blows my mind to see like old like commercials and shit, and be reminded of all the merchandise and everything that came along like with Freddy shortly after, like after the first one. People were kind of all over that shit, and then with the sequels and everything. I don't know.
Huge.
And I did forget to mention real quick, so I don't forget again.
Referenced
at some point during the show.
Continue.
Okay. We're going to call that 900 number, the Freddy hotline, and see what happens.
Yep.
Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Whenever I thought about that earlier the other night, and I was like, we'll call that up on the show. Like I don't want to call it right now and see what happens. I want to do it live and see what happens on the show. It could be nothing, or you know, maybe Freddy.
Whenever James Ralph called the Who Framed Roger Rabbit number.
Oh yeah.
What happened?
I think it was like some sex hotline or something weird.
Let's hope.
I'm calling him now.
We just got a boost.
So anyway, great. Sorry. Well, I interrupted Chuck and he left. So
he's mad at you.
I mean the boiler room never closes, so maybe we'll get through to somebody. That'd be funny. Yeah, I did get it's what was it? 1-900-909-3733.
Fred.
So anyway, sorry, Nasty. What were you saying?
I don't know.
Oh,
All right.
Don't know.
Yum yum.
Internet's pissing me off. Continue.
Okay.
Internet.
So
Sickness be gone.
yeah, I've always been a Freddy guy, and this movie gets me in the feels, man. Takes me back. Even though this wasn't the first, I mean, we always called them Freddy movies when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the first Freddy movie I saw was the third one. I went in reverse. I went 3, 2, 1. And I'm kind of glad I went that way because the first one caught me off guard because it was so much more terrifying than 2 and 3 were.
Yeah.
I saw one first. Yeah, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street first, and then I watched 3, 4, and 5. I didn't see 2 till much later. Or it might have been the same time that I watched 4 and 5. I don't know. There was a marathon or something I ended up watching, but I didn't watch it till much later, like in time. And I honestly I don't know. I lost my train of thought once again. Fuck my life. Never mind.
I don't know how old I was when I saw this, but it's amazing.
No, I know what I was gonna say. But yeah, you were talking about Freddy's looks and shit. I think in the original and the second one, he is the most sinister looking and acting throughout the whole franchise. I mean,
it wasn't all cleaned up.
No, he wasn't funny either. Like a couple of times in the first one he was, but like he just, I don't know. He was just sinister and disgusting, and he looked fucking like, because I rewatched the second one last night, and I haven't watched it in a little while. And man, there's that scene where they're at the pool party thing, and like his, I guess he still had. There are certain times in the original he kind of has the same facial feature too, where his eye is like burnt out, it's bigger than the other one, and he's got like that weird like. His smile looked different. He looked more menacing looking, I think, in the first 2. And then he just kind of got goofy. But it got goofy, as it went. It didn't look as crazy. I don't know. He still looked fucking crazy because he's burnt and all this shit. But there was something about him that looked almost devilish in the first 2.
He loved his work.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a fan of the way he looks in the first one. I mean, it's all right, but it's more of his mannerisms that I don't like. Going back and watching it, I'm like watching him kind of like slink around through the boiler room. He's like, I don't know. It's weird. He's not as, like you said, Chad, he's not as polished, but I think I like the polished version better because he's just kind of like, he feels like some kind of creeper that's just kind of slinking around in a fucking boiler room. Like, I'm going to get you.
I mean, that's what he is, though. That's what he is. Though.
I know. Yeah, but I like him being kind of more menacing.
Oh no, that'd been good.
Like for me, if we're gonna pick the favorite look of Freddy, oddly enough, I think my favorite look of Freddy out of the old series is in New Nightmare. Whenever he's in that room, he comes up behind the chick. And he's got the green fedora instead, and he's got the jacket and everything like that. And oh my god, that look! I thought that look was very. That's the way he should have been, in my opinion. He's fucking awesome.
New Nightmare's a weird one. I love New Nightmare. I've always loved that one. It's a weird one because it's not considered. I'm not lagging or anything, am I?
No, you're fine.
Okay. My thing was doing fucking something weird. But like it's not technically a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. You know what I mean? Like it's a movie playing another movie. But yeah, I think he looks fucking wicked in that one. I totally agree. Because they go with the whole
here we go.
He's more of a demon kind of thing, whatever. And I think he looks fucking wicked in that. I agree with Michael.
Like that is fucking badass, man.
Right. That's Freddy right there. Like that's Freddy coming back.
Yeah.
Especially when he looks like demonic in was it Freddy versus Jason, I guess? At the end of it, he kind of has more of I kind of like the way he looked in that one too. But I don't know. I almost actually like him better in the second one. How he looked in the second one. He just looks, fucked up.
And another thing I don't like is like the first time you really get to see him in the first film is when he's out in that street and he has those long arms. And I'm like, I hate the long arms. Like there was no point in having the long arms. Like it wasn't like he grabbed her or anything with him. It was just like, hi, I'm Long Arm Freddy coming to get you.
Well, it was so he could run his arm. It was just something so he could run his hands, and he's just like, you can't run. There's nowhere. Like I'm here. I'm everywhere. You can't run past me.
But she did run away.
He still got her though.
She eventually.
Yeah, Tina. Yeah, and because we really didn't have a final girl back in those days, but we were all led to believe that Tina was the main character, so she's probably going to be the one to live, right?
Yeah, right.
That's who we see first.
Mm-hmm. Mirrored Psycho quite a bit.
Yeah, they even said that they gave her the Janet Leigh role, where she'd introduce the killer and disappear.
Paid tribute to Psycho a lot, I guess. Minus the shower.
So we can't forget about some of the iconic moments in this fucking in the original alone. Iconic things that are in it. Johnny Depp's first movie.
Introducing Johnny Depp.
It's so weird to see him then and see him now. You know what I mean? And he never talks about it. Most actors that get real big will not talk about how they starred in like this horror movie or that horror movie. They just kind of forget about it.
I don't think he watches his movies though.
But still, it's not like anything to be ashamed of. Like this is a great franchise. It's not like you're Jennifer Aniston and you're like, hey, remember when you did Leprechaun? It's like, fuck me. Yeah, I remember that shit.
It's kind of like me whenever I brought up Teen Wolf 2 to Bateman. Fuck. Fuck my life.
Yeah. But
I love Teen Wolf 2.
The like him getting the blood. I remember as a kid when I first saw it, I was just like, when he got sucked into the fucking bed, I was like, what? And then all of a sudden, all that blood just starts. I was like, that is fucking weird. Like, what the fuck is happening? I've never seen that before. And the scene with Tina when she's being, spun around on the ceiling and stuff. And they used the house, the built-in house that they did on set that actually spun around for that.
Yeah, they had the bedroom built up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the bed. That was the same room they used for Glenn's room too. Whenever they did the blood scene.
Yeah,
because the blood was actually upside down.
Yeah.
It was also the same thing they would later use for Metallica's the Memory Remains video.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it a few times. Even like what I was just talking about on New Nightmare. Whenever he comes up behind Julie, and then that's when he grabs her and he's like, "Hey, Dylan, ever play Skin the Cat?" And then he drags her up the wall and onto the ceiling. Julie.
And Glenn's death, the cats and crew found out that you cannot mix water with electricity.
Oh,
as they almost burned the set down. Because they had gallons and gallons of, what was it, like 40 gallons of blood or whatever it was.
I don't know. It was just water and food coloring and
more blood than it's in a human body. That's for sure.
Way more probably. And then when they're bringing the stretcher out, some guy off is like, the
fucking coldest line in the movie.
right.
Like, you don't need a stretcher, you need a mop.
Well, we're just Johnny Depp come back out of the bed and then just flop down on the bed dead.
Oh, that would have been so lame.
Yeah,
I'm glad they kept it the way they did.
Yeah. All the changes they made were for the better.
I think so too. Although people would argue that. We'll get to more of that later.
Oh, what, the ending?
Yeah, with the alternate endings.
Yeah. Which there's, I think there was a couple, but anyway, we'll get to that
5,
later.
I think.
John Saxon. Holy shit! Well, he's Nancy's dad.
Hell yeah!
Goes from fighting Bruce Lee to fucking fighting Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
totally different role for him in some ways, because he didn't really kick anybody's ass.
Well, Well, I mean, he was also the lead like cop in Black Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's not too far away from what
he
he
played a cop in
played.
a lot of movies.
I only saw that movie once. That was last year.
Yeah, he's.
Can you imagine it though? At the end,
whenever
they fucking finally burst in the room and Freddy's on the mom, like if he would have pulled some like Roper shit and like started doing some freaking ninja shit to Freddy, like I'm gonna fuck you up. Put a mask.
Wait, Dave, did you just say you didn't like Black Christmas?
Oh, I said I know. I've only saw it the one time that we did it last year.
I'm finding more information about this fucking guy every day. He hasn't seen like 6 franchises I found out about today.
I've seen a bunch of movies, but I've seen like the same movies 1,000 times, kind of thing. I don't expand my horizons very much.
It's interesting to me. All right. The parallels here between Nightmare on Elm Street and Enter the Dragon, because you see, you got John Saxon in both films. Same universe? Maybe. Who knows? But here's the thing. The main villains in both films have claw hands.
Oh, banana fingers.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
You got Han and Enter the Dragon, and you got Freddy and Nightmare on Elm Street.
It's like 8 years later, he has a 17-year-old daughter,
and maybe that's what maybe that's why he got cast.
Maybe
like you already fought guys with like spikes before.
Maybe
perfect.
I feel like there's an unmentioned parallel there that I think a lot of people ignore. I thought it was fascinating.
I just never thought about it
because it doesn't exist.
Well, you know what they say, Dave. Now you know.
Mike referencing our
but
Enter the Dragon.
Going back to what Chuck said, iconic scenes. Another moment that always like it's such a great visual, not just because she's in the bathtub, but whenever Heather Langenkamp is there and you see the hand come out of the water right there between her legs, you know, you always see that shot in like reviews and everything like that because it's just a cool shot, and regardless of the fact it's between a chick's legs, you know, it's like you're not expecting him to be there in the tub with her. All of a sudden, it's like, and it's like the most vulnerable thing for a person.
I think that was the special effects guy,
and then
good day for him.
And yes, Heather Langenkamp.
Like that. Also, the fact that
God,
how terrifying to think you're being like, you know, like because that shot where she's being pulled under, like it's just black, like it's just I don't know. I'm weird about water anyway, so that kind of touches down on some fears on there with me. So yeah, that is a very iconic scene.
Yeah, like drowning would be one of the worst ways to go.
In that scene that you're just talking about, where she gets pulled underwater, it's so dark. If you actually take like a filter and change it and look through it, you can actually see Jason is the one that's pulling her down into the water. Did you know that?
That is amazing.
No, I'm kidding. Fake news.
I know Wes said he thought they were going to die that day because they just had a bunch of scuba gear in this pool wrapped around in fucking black tarps.
Scuba. Did you know that scuba is actually an acronym? Do you know what scuba stands for?
What?
Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Some wacky shit.
After everything he's already said, like
that's true. I'm dropping knowledge. All right, scuba is an acronym. So is laser.
Blazer.
And
I don't know that.
Mike's also the guy that they wrote the book about the boy that cried wolf. He's the one that wrote that.
No, these are facts, Chuck.
No,
they can be easily verified.
Fake news. You tell them fake news, you lies.
It's not amplification by steady emission of radiation.
Well, I wasn't arguing that.
I'll get a little video off to the side, and every time you do that, we'll play the More You Know theme.
Do, do, do.
He's like, I know nothing else.
That's all. I read it on the back of
I
a
did-
Cracker Jack box.
Did forget to mention that Freddy Krueger, the name was given by Wes Craven from a boy that bullied him in school.
What was just the first name?
Which he also
He
gave.
said the full name.
He also gave the name to. Well,
Yeah,
in
Krueger was the guy
in Last House on the Left. Yeah, Krug.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was the original bad guy. He named him after.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder how close a character that was
Frederick.
to being like the bully.
Roderick.
Is what I mean.
I always like it. I always like it in Scream whenever Henry Winkler opens Wes Craven doing the cameo, like mopping the floor. He's like, "Not you, Fred."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cute.
And also some parallels between the Elm Street series and Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm. Which she's actually watching in the film.
it.
Mm-hmm. And Freddy's glove shows up in the background on the shed in the Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
Is that the same glove that went missing on the set on the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Don't know.
Maybe. That was the second one.
I said that, right? I said
said
Evil Dead
first
2.
one. No, Nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Nightmare 2. Nightmare 1. Now I'm all confused.
One of the movies.
And you remember that show, Just the 10 of Us?
No,
Okay.
Yeah. That's where Heather Langenkamp came
not
from.
at all.
Man, probably the end of that discussion.
Well, Heather Langenkamp.
No, I remember.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Am I lagging again?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit, I figured. Yeah, no, I used to watch that show when I was a kid.
So did I. See? Thank you.
And then when I saw her, like when I saw her on, I was like, what the fuck? It's the same chick.
And also is Brooke Theus, I believe her name is, who was Debbie in Nightmare 4.
Debbie.
The gym girl.
Yeah. Yeah, she was, the one that turns into the cockroach.
Nobody likes a cockroach.
Yeah.
You fucking cockroach.
Slasher Fred.
Slasher Fred.
Love your screen name, sir. The original movie is almost like a sequel to Craven's first movie, The Last House on the Left, because the movie takes place 10 years after Krueger's death, and it involves former vigilante parents. Yes.
There you go.
Thank you, Slasher Fred. That's awesome.
Thank you for joining us.
For this 40 years of Freddy. Uncle Freddy, we love you.
I can't believe it's been 40 years, man. It's crazy.
I know, right?
It is.
40 years ago, the iconic Freddy Krueger was born.
I love this.
I was too.
Well, there you go. Two monsters.
Same year, dude. Yeah.
No, man, I love this fucking franchise, dude. Oh my gosh, it's. I think out of all of them, it's my favorite. If the big ones, you know, if you count Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday the 13th, I think Freddy's my favorite. I'm with Dave. Team Freddy.
He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the Mount Rushmore. Definitely. I don't know. It's just there. I'll always love for the terrifying. Not the gas. He would say over again later movies.
I mean, you don't
original. You know,
you don't like it when your serial killer is using the power glove to kill off his victim.
No, that movie sucks so bad. Freddy's Dead. What a horrible, horrible piece of trash that movie truly is. That is the worst movie in the fucking franchise. Worst fucking movie in the franchise.
Three's my favorite.
Oh, here we go. Slasher Fred has going to drop some more.
Some more knowledge.
Did you know that originally Wes Craven wanted Krueger to be a child molest? Can I say that word on YouTube? But had to change to him being a child killer due to many reports of the 80s concerning teachers doing that to students.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, see,
that was true.
That's
and
the
then
thing.
I'm glad they did.
Well, that's the thing is they never mention it in any of the movies. But when you look him up, or if you're watching a documentary or whatever, they always mention that that's what he was. He was a pedo child killer. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things in the movies that go to it. But
yeah, to me, that was one of the big mistakes of the remake is that they went back to that.
What I was about to say. They switched it back to 2010. They said, okay, yeah, he's a child molester.
Oh, well, they were like, oh, did he do it or didn't he? And we're like, we don't really need this. What the fuck are you doing? The movie sucked.
I mean, at first it was kind of intriguing because you're like, maybe he didn't do it, and wonder if he didn't do it,
then that takes away everything that he is.
You know,
that takes
because he was the Springwood slasher.
Yeah, Springwood, Ohio, which just happens to have a bunch of palm trees chilling.
Oh yeah, there's that. That scene on the bridge when they're on the bridge.
Well, the bridge and the funeral at the cemetery. I'm like, when do they put palm trees in Ohio? Come on.
It's like in the credits, there's Surfer 1 and Surfer 2. Like, what?
Yeah. You know, that big ocean in Ohio, the Ohio Ocean.
Well, that's it.
It's right by Dayton. You'll miss it if you don't.
You can catch some great waves out there in the.
It's right by the In-N-Out Burger.
And it was, that scene on the bridge, brought it out that because here's Nancy, here's something different. Here's Nancy actively trying to pursue Freddy instead of running away.
Mm-hmm.
She sets up all those booby traps and whatnot. That was pretty cool. Great character, Nancy.
That's my biggest beef of the movie, though, is like she tells her dad, come over at 12:30 or whatever. She starts setting up at midnight. She has like a 20-minute conversation with her mom. Plus, she makes all these booby traps that would take a week to do.
Yeah.
That's the biggest gripe of the movie.
One of the scariest scenes in the movie is seeing Krueger walk through Rod's jail cell.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good effect for back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, all awesome effects.
Yeah, you can't really.
Although,
they're actually really good.
Oddly enough, I think one of the scariest scenes in the film is whenever Nancy's mom is standing there by the basement door, and she's like, "Come downstairs, and I'll tell you." And I'm like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
His name was Fred Krueger, and we killed him, Nancy.
The mom was creepy as shit, man. You could almost. It almost feels like she was the killer. You could have probably done some kind of filmed some alternate scenes and made her the killer because she's creepy as hell. She's very spaced out. Is she on drugs? Is she drunk? What what is she? She's crazy.
Drunk.
We know she's drunk, but she could have been on. She could have been on some drugs, and she'll murder a man for crying out loud, and then all of a sudden she's got his glove still down in the basement.
You gotta have trophies.
Maybe she just went crazy and started killing the kids.
Why was she the one to have all that? I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
But why is out of all the parents that went after shit? Why is she the one that gets to keep? They're like, oh, well, you just go ahead and have it.
Or dad's a cop.
You've earned it. You threw the first torch,
Yeah. So
maybe he was dumping evidence.
You probably could have done it where she was attached somehow. That would have been dumb, but and it would have been a ripoff of Friday the 13th. So
she was Freddy's. She was actually Freddy's lover.
Maybe she was in love with Fred.
She was Freddy's lover,
and she was luring the kids in to the dreams by giving them Timo-cell.
And he's really Nancy's
Cosby Cell.
Slasher Fred, watching the movie, you realize that how difficult it is to determine whether the characters are in the real world or if they are in the dream. That was one of the reasons as Wes Craven was trying to sell the script, a lot of people turned it down. Often hearing that the audience will know it's a dream, so they'll think it's not real, so they won't be scared. And Bob Shea was the one that really got it.
So did even Sean Cunningham said the same thing when he read the script. He's like, I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I've always been highly critical of these films that do these dream sequences and everything like that. This franchise, though, it works because that's the whole premise. That's the context. It's a dream world. So, like in these other films, oh, I'm sleeping, I wake up, oh, the whole shit was a dream. None of it mattered. But here, you can do that where you don't know if they're in the dream world or they're in reality. So it works out better. So I like that concept right there because, in other films, it's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? But in this film, it's like you don't know, and you're trying to differentiate. There's so many times when she thinks she pulled Freddy into the real world, and she's like, "Oh, I'm crazy" or whatever. But then all of a sudden he jumps up. You were thinking the whole time that she didn't really pull him into the real world, and that plan backfired. But he was there, so it's like they do these subtle little instances where, like he said, you don't know which world you're in. And it works for these films, I think. A lot of other films, you can't do that because you're not in dream world.
And there's real consequences.
Yes.
So if you die in the dream world, you die for real.
Yep.
That would be a shitty way to die.
You were all my children.
I like that. What a shitty mom. Like...
She really is.
She takes her in. She's like, "Oh,
there's a lot of shitty parents in this franchise."
Yeah, I'm going to take her in. Like, I'm going to get you help. Like, I know what's going on, but I'm going to take you in to get looked at because I'm going to make you think you're crazy and not really tell you what's going on.
Right?
And then she takes her to that
Thanks,
guy.
Mom.
They're doing the dream study or sleep study or whatever you want to call it, and she gets cut. And then, like, through the rest of the film, she's just got like a bandage on her arm and it's bleeding through. I'm like, why would you not take your child to get stitched up or something? Why is this just an open wound, just chilling?
She pulls a fucking hat out of the fucking dream, and they still don't believe her.
Yeah, and then when finally she admits it,
fuck, man?
Nancy's like, "What the fuck? You've known this whole time, and you've been acting like it was something I made up."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then she wonders why she's pissed off.
Yeah. Oh, we just talked about that. This movie has many callbacks to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, mostly because of the character of Tina, who was assumed to be the main hero of the story, only to see her get eliminated early on. I like that word, eliminated.
Eliminated. Finish her.
Eliminated. You've been eliminated.
And yeah, Tina is still my favorite death. I always say Tina.
That was a good one.
Because that felt personal.
Tina. Right.
Like he always enjoys his work. He always messes with the kids. He always has fun while he's doing it. But Tina, I don't know. He went that extra mile to me.
I've always wanted to see exactly what happened with Johnny Depp.
They had the buckets.
Right.
He was in the car.
In his dream.
Oh, in his dream. I don't know. Wood chipper.
Like something bad happened, man.
All that was left was his
what in the dream world? You know what? I'm gonna believe that it was a wood chipper. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna believe that he got sucked in and at the other end was a wood chipper and they couldn't show it. That's cool. That's a good idea because that's usually how they die anyway. It's like, we usually see how, like, why, you know what I mean?
Because we're in the spirit world, you asshole that can't see it.
Wood chipper. You see the size of that chicken?
Yeah, the Tina was probably the best. I mean, I don't know. Because you don't, like you said, you don't really see what happens to Depp. So,
right. I mean, technically, it's one of the only deaths in the movie that you actually see gets sliced open.
No.
His fucking Rod gets strangled to death by a sheet.
Yeah. So,
And the mom gets just burned, I guess. Great stunt, by the way, at the end when he gets caught on fire. He was on fire for a minute.
Yeah. Well, they said at the time, I think it was the longest fire burn on screen.
How long was it?
Like 11 seconds.
Felt longer. Looked longer.
I think it was longer than that. I don't know.
Because I know, like, they said he was shocked whenever he fucking got hit with the door, which even whenever, again, in the movie, like, you can see him going up the steps and the door is still open. And then it cuts, and then she opens the door, and it's automatically closed. Then he falls back down, gets up, and then still runs back up the steps again.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that they got some of these ideas. They got some of the ideas for Home Alone from this film.
She did. She Home Aloned him.
Yeah, for real.
Fucking sledgehammer.
Yeah, it's kind of funny actually. That part's kind of funny. Like when he's running through there and she just nails him over and over again with shit. Like I like that kind of shit. But like I'll never forget. Just like always thinking, there's marshmallow steps. Like I just always think I'm just like, wow, she's just stepping on a bunch of s'mores. Like
they look delicious.
They do.
Some gray oatmeal.
And our man Slasher Fred is back. He says, I noticed how the original movie and its sequel, the only two movies in the series where Krueger is basically an undead serial killer. The third movie is when we finally get to see Krueger as a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Is he really a demon though? In that
Dream demon,
especially in New Nightmare, he's definitely a demon. And I guess 6 they called him a dream demon, right?
Yeah.
He's just
in Nightmare. In my movie,
Satan.
Dr. Satan.
Dr. Satan.
And yeah, the oatmeal steps. I might have this backwards, but I think Craven didn't want it, and Bob Shea did.
That's because apparently it was like one of like Bob's reoccurring dreams.
I've had that kid.
I've had that. He would be running up the steps and get stuck.
I think that's why I liked it. I'm glad they left it in because I've had.
And they actually let him film it.
He was like, "Here, fucker, you want it so bad?"
He's like, "All right, we'll film it, Jack."
Do we got any Hershey's chocolate bars? We're gonna have cookout s'mores. Gonna light this sucker on fire. I like she bars up the entire house and nobody can get in or out, allegedly. Like she should put bars on the doors, bars on the windows, and then all of a sudden, whenever Nancy's screaming for her dad, like him and three other cops come over and just burst right in. Like, oh, yeah, it didn't take much to get in.
That's what I'm saying. Like the end of that movie kind of just fucks me up because, like I said, like she only has a minimal time. She's like, I'm gonna go to bed, fucking wake me up at 12:30 or whatever. I'm gonna catch this guy. So whenever she's downstairs when Glenn dies, and her mom's on the fucking couch, so then at that point she has maybe like 40 minutes to do all this shit. But then she ends up making all these booby traps. Her mom goes to bed, and then she goes to sleep, catches Freddy, and then her mom doesn't even fucking hear none of this shit going on in the house. I don't know.
Because is her mom in the dream
when
world?
you're that and passed out, I mean,
well, that's after he pulls Freddy out of the dream
she's
world.
too fucked up.
Well, I mean, she's drunk as fuck, but
yeah.
I mean, who hasn't been that drunk to where like a serial killer's running around chasing your kids around? They have to Home Alone it, you know? No,
well, and the part before that, oh god,
my bad. Sorry, I'm lagging again. I know I am. The funny part, actually talking about the dream world, is when Johnny Depp shows up in the middle of the dream, and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Glenn, you're asleep," or whatever the fuck that she says to him. That little scene's just kind of funny when he realizes he's in the dream with her.
Yeah, she's still watching. He's like, "Yeah, I'm right here."
But you're in the dream world. So
that that should have been the hint that he's asleep. Like, she's so pissed at him. They should do like a Funny or Die type skit with Heather Langenkamp, Johnny Depp, and Robert Englund now.
That would be amazing.
Where like she's like, you know,
that'd be awesome.
All right, Glenn, I'm going to sleep and I'm going to be looking for somebody. Wake me up before you go. And then fucking they literally just do like all the Home Alone stunts with Robert Englund. Like he's slipping on freaking Hot Wheels cars or
the paint bucket to the head.
Paint bucket. Yeah, just recreate all the Home Alone scenarios with Robert Englund.
Our buddy Fred.
All right, what do you got? If you guys ever see the cult classic movie Phantasm, that movie has many precursors to A Nightmare on Elm Street because throughout the movie it has some dreamlike sequences.
It's a great franchise.
Shout out Reggie Bannister.
I've always said that Phantasm and Nightmare Elm Street like have certain like qualities that can make them they can be in the same universe in ways because there's a very same familiar feel with Phantasm and Nightmare on Elm Street. I think I've always thought that's pretty cool. I love the Phantasm movies.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
And should we talk about these endings?
Yeah, we got to.
Got to.
So it's a tough movie because how do you end it? How many did you say there were? Like five? Five
I think there's
alternate
four or five.
So it was the one we got.
Where Freddy pulls Nancy's mom through the window.
Yeah.
And then
I like that. A lot of people hate on that because it looks too cheesy. And I that's why I like it. I like cheesy shit every once in a while.
And I think there was one where it wasn't Freddy's sweater and they're driving away and they just see the girls singing the song. I think, if memory serves.
Yeah,
these were all on the box set.
But they all have the Freddy rag top though.
Oh, they all have
no,
yeah,
they don't.
I thought they all did.
No, like the one where nobody dies, they just drive off. They don't put the top up. I don't think. There's a couple. I think there's a couple of them where they don't put the top up.
Because there's the other one where Freddy's driving the car.
Yeah,
which is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. These were all on the Nightmare DVD box set, and I haven't watched that in like over 20 years.
Well, you got the regular one. You got the one where Freddy's driving the car. You got the one
where nobody dies.
Where they just show
nobody dies.
Count the nursery.
One.
I think that might be the one I was thinking of at first, where they're just doing the nursery. Maybe.
Where the mom, I don't think the mom dies. I think there's one where the mom doesn't die, and they just drive off and trapped in the car or whatever. I can't remember.
So it's kind of a mixture of.
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same essentially, just little tweaks here and there. And a lot of people, whenever I looked on YouTube, a lot of people really liked the ending where nobody died, because they felt it was a lot more creepier. Where it's just like. They go off, they're driving off, and then you just got the girls jumping rope singing the Freddy song. So it's like creepy. Like you're like, is he like still out there lurking, or was it all just a dream? You know?
Yeah.
So a lot of people like that scene where nobody, or the ending when nobody dies. So
Cray was not a fan of any of them because he wanted no sequels.
All right.
Right.
He didn't want to leave it open, but
shit happens.
New Line would have lost out on millions.
Did you know in the movie Wes Craven's 1996 movie Scream, Wes Craven had a cameo playing the role of janitor Fred, who was wearing Krueger's iconic red and green sweater.
Indeed.
Not you, Fred.
Us Freddy guys know all the facts.
Yes.
Shout out to the Fonz.
Hey.
Hey.
Cover Harry Winkler and bees.
What do you think? What do you think of the ending? Was it all a dream? I used to read Word Up magazine.
I was just thinking that in my head.
Salt and pepper, heavy D up in the limousine.
Right.
I think I'm for the one where nobody dies and they just hear the jump rope song. I think I'm on that.
I like the one they used.
I like the one they used too. But how do you interpret it? Does Heather, Nancy die? I mean, she's trapped in the car and everybody's back to life, and then the car is being ushered away by some supernatural force. Apparently Freddy, but he's not driving in this version. So what happens?
It's just another dream. It's just another dream.
Yeah, at some point she fell asleep again, but I don't know when.
So are all those people alive, or are all those people
I don't
dead?
think so. I think they're still dead.
They're dead.
Because I mean, I think but I mean, if you just watch this film in '84, you don't have any basis for that. You have to wait till later on. I think in 3, that's when they mentioned it in 2 or 3. Well, she comes back, but then
in 3 and 2 they're mentioning it because of her diary they find.
But there at some point they talk about the mom being dead, I think, in one of the other films.
I know the third when they talk about it. Yeah, I think 3 is when they talk about it because that's when she comes back and
her and the doctor are having that conversation on the bench.
Yeah,
that's whenever I think she talks to him about prescribing Hypnosil.
So,
Bill Maher looking motherfucker.
She brings him back into the real world. He catches fire. He gets the mom. The mom goes into the void, and then he shows back up, and she turns her back on him, and then he hologram disappears, and then she opens the door, and it's light. So, did she because that happens instantaneous?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know at what point she fell asleep.
So if the mom died in the real world, and then how does she automatically walk into the dream world if she's not asleep?
I don't know.
I mean, if you've been there's how many times have you had a dream where it seemed like it was longer? You know what I mean? Than it was. You know, it's only like a few seconds because you see it so quick in your head. Like maybe it was trying to show that, maybe, possibly.
So is it all a dream?
Maybe. I don't know.
The whole franchise? She just woke up.
Every bit of it. It's just a dream. None of this is even real. Ask Jim Carrey. He'll tell you all about it.
Whoa.
Because she had to have gotten away again because she came back in the third one.
Well, we didn't see that movie.
So we didn't. I don't know. I don't know.
We saw something totally different.
It's blowing my mind.
Blown.
Yeah.
Mind blown.
It's a mystery. And what I think Wes Craven originally wanted it all to be a dream, because the studios wanted it changed to where there was reality blurred in there so they could make future films. But I think Wes Craven wanted it to all be a dream, where it was just one long dream. And then she wakes up and walks outside and everybody's fine.
So interesting, but no sequels. A lot of people would have lost out on a lot of money.
Movies.
Mostly New Line.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Okay.
Because what? Oh, I was going to say, Heather Langenkamp is awesome, but in this film, I'm sitting there watching, and there's like parts I'm like, fuck, man. I don't know if it's bad acting or what, but like she has a terrible time like trying to cry. Like any scene where she's like trying to act like she's upset, I'm like, it's kind of cringy. I don't know. Heather Langenkamp's a sweetheart, and she's the fucking goat. But I don't know. You could tell she was green at this point in her career.
Mm-hmm.
And crazy, well, yeah. But I think she ended up beating out like 200 different people, they said, for the role of Nancy. And they said that like Demi Moore was one of them, considered Courtney Cox, Jennifer Grey, and Claudia Wells.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
That would have been interesting. Some of those.
Yeah, they wanted the girl next door look.
Yeah, but Heather Langenkamp looks more of the girl next door than all of them do.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones that they look like they're like
he didn't.
The pretty girl.
We said he didn't want. He didn't want a well-known actress. He just wanted somebody that no one really heard of. It's like whenever
it's still kind of crazy that Johnny Depp.
Well, I mean
that Johnny Depp,
y'all need Depp.
He was going to Hollywood to become a rock star, basically. And then a buddy of his or his roommate or whatever said, "Hey, you should try for this movie." And here we have Johnny Depp, who now has, in the last couple of years, been living his rock and roll dream more than anything else.
Actually, the one that got him his job was Wes Craven's daughter.
Yeah, didn't they pick him? There was a couple other guys, and they both his daughters at the same time were like Johnny Depp.
Well, because he was taking Jackie Earle Haley to audition to be Freddy Krueger, and then that's whenever they saw him and started talking to him. So Jackie Early Haley did not get that movie till many, many years later.
It's not Jackie's fault. It's not your fault, Jackie. If you ever see this, hello.
Did he really go? Whoa, the guy that played Freddy later, like actually,
yeah, he went. That's who Johnny Depp went with whenever, because he had an audition to be for Freddy Krueger, and then Johnny went with him because they were, I guess, living together or best friends or something. And then Jackie got turned down, and his daughter was like, "That kid's hot. You should hire him." And he said, "Okay." That's how Johnny Depp got the role.
And now Johnny Depp's new nightmare was Amber Heard.
That's why he is who he is. Yeah.
They said that there was a thing of cocaine in
And yeah, I was just going to talk about Freddy again. You know, if you didn't grow up around
my
that time, you didn't see how crazy popular Freddy Krueger was this time in the 80s, leading up to Dream Warriors. You know, utilized MTV. You know, MTV nowadays, I despise that network more than some people. But back in those days, you know, if
fuck MTV.
You know, the world was watching you at that point if you were on MTV in the early days. You know, that they had that music video, Duncan, Dream Warriors, fucking rocked. That's why I see like a lot of what Art the Clown is, reminds me a lot of Freddy back in those days, where the actor playing him embraces it.
Yep.
Like Robert Englund embraced Freddy and David embraces Art the Clown. And, you know, I see the music video. I thought of Duncan, Dream Warriors, and all that.
Well, it was just like we talked about recently, where, you know, anybody can step into that role. We've seen other actors play Freddy and Art the Clown, and they did okay. But there's always a time that somebody comes along, like David Howard Thornton or Robert Englund, and they step into a role and they personify that character. They become that character to where a totally different experience than anybody else. And that's the magic for these guys that play these roles. You know, anybody can put on the makeup, but it takes somebody special to really turn that character into something incredible.
Yeah.
And Freddy went on to not just a horror icon, but a global phenomenon, like you said, Dave. Like whenever you watch Spaceballs and they have the merchandise of like everything, they had the merchandise of everything for Nightmare on Elm Street for Freddy Krueger. You know,
yeah, they did stole the glove. You know, in KB Toys they had the Freddy glove, and everybody was Freddy for Halloween.
Oh hell yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I went dressed up as Freddy when I went to go see the fourth one. Could never find a red and green sweater, but I did find a red and black one, so that worked.
It's dark.
Good enough.
Yeah, they
can't see. It's Wall Street. Lots of money here.
Loved you in Wall Street.
Speaking of, Charlie Sheen was actually up for the role of Glenn, but he wanted too much money.
Yeah, they made this movie for nothing. What would $1 million be in today's money?
Glenn or Glenda? More.
Nice.
Another.
Oh god.
Oh god.
A
couple. Shit's just popping in my head. So, other scenes that stick out in my mind. Whenever they're at Tina's house and you got Nancy sleeping in the bed, and you have his face and hands coming out from the wall, like over top of her. That was really creepy. That's a really good effect and really creepy looking. And then also later on, another one that I always loved was whenever Glenn is about to be attacked. Like Glenn is falling asleep, him up, and she rips the phone out, and then all of a sudden the phone rings, and it's Freddy. He's like, "Now I'm your boyfriend," and the tongue comes through the phone. That was always a classic effect. Yeah,
I'm your boyfriend now.
Yeah, she said the first time she saw that phone, she was just freaked out.
Could imagine.
I wonder where that phone is now.
Like a lizard.
Huh?
Where's that phone?
So I wonder where that phone is now.
And why don't they sell it?
It's trash. Yeah, they could have sold that shit back in like the 90s whenever they had them see-through Zach Morris phones and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of phones, we're going to call the Freddy 900 number. If you're just
Freddy number.
Here soon.
You know, other great.
We're going to call it hope. We're going to call it hoping to hear this is Freddy. What it's actually going to be is, hi, this is Fred. You've called.
And we talked earlier about it being out in Ohio, or Springwood, Ohio, but the real house still stands out in California, right outside LA.
Door and everything.
Well, this was from a few years.
That's crazy.
This is from a few years back, and I believe they got new ownership. And then last year I stopped by there, and now the house looks like this.
Oh,
looks completely different.
Oh wow,
it's really nice.
So it's really nice. They put up a privacy gate because obviously people are just walking up and taking pictures on their doorstep and shit like that, you know. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer because that was just a year ago, and then a few years back, like I said, it's still got the door, the red door, and everything like that. So
which was blue.
Yeah, it was blue.
Yeah, but first two it was blue, and then
they changed it, didn't they? Yeah. So you can go and visit the house if you're out in California. Pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah.
But don't go past the fence.
Don't respect their privacy.
No. Respect the privacy of anywhere you go. You fucking pieces of shit.
Whoa!
Hey now,
hey now,
Chuck. These are fans.
No. I have seen some of these videos where people are like sneaking to certain places and they get busted and they throw a big fucking fit because they get busted and all that shit. I'm like, you should go the route of at least asking something. Don't just break it into places.
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm trespassing?
I'm not talking about you.
No, not me.
Although, I mean, we did get upstairs.
Like, what the fuck? What do you mean I'm trespassing? What's the big deal? No, respect their privacy.
Are you going to call this number?
All right, we're going to call this number now.
Uh-oh, here we go. 1-900-909-FRED. I think there was a couple different numbers.
R-E-D.
The call you are attempting to place is not allowed from this line. Please dial 611 for customer service. Dial
not allowed.
Cell phone. Can't charge them by the minute.
True.
So the number does exist, but
we don't know what it is because nobody has a landline these days that I know of.
Well, here there was a couple different hotlines over the years. So let me see. That was 1-900-909-FRED. Here's another one. 1-900-860. 1-900-86. Here, I'll call it 1-900-860.
Numbers are probably
900 numbers.
Game
probably won't work on cell phones.
Well, they even have 900 numbers today. Weird.
1-900-860-4-FRED.
I don't know nothing about this shit.
All right, here, let's try this one.
Hey, kids, thanks for calling the Freddy hotline. Seems like you're having a killer evening. In fact, I didn't sign up to be on any podcast, so video store clerks, I'm coming to get ya.
What the fuck? What was that? Holy shit. Guys, what is going on?
Well, shit.
Well,
is blood going to start spewing up from the?
Hopefully, Whitman comes back next week. We're down to 3.
And there you have it. Nightmare on Elm Street, 40 years of Freddy.
Ah! That is the worst Freddy mask I've ever seen.
Worst mask.
That is terrifying.
Fucking Freddy Anna Jones.
It looks really close to that fucking remake, man.
Welcome to
prime time, sticking out.
Bitch.
Is the tongue sticking out on that?
No, he just looks terrible. You look like you belong in fucking Wrong Turn.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Freddie and Jones.
And there you have it. Nightmare on Elm Street, 40 Years of Freddy. Uncle Freddy, we love you. But before we go,
Robert Englund, man. We gotta fucking give a salute to Robert Englund, man, because he is the man. There's nobody else that can be Freddy. I don't care.
Nobody else.
I'm not going to let that man talk for hours.
And one of the nicest guys you can ever meet. You know, he does all these. He does all these conventions, and he spends time with the fans talking and everything. And he's just a great guy in general. You can mail him stuff. I think he's got a website or online stuff where him and his wife, you can just mail stuff to him and send some money, and he'll sign your stuff and send it back. And he does it up real nice, and he takes pictures of him signing it or whatever, and him holding it up. So super awesome guy. I remember me and Dave met him years ago, and he was telling us a story because, everybody obviously always asks him about Nightmare on Elm Street. That's the topic. But one of the films I wanted to ask him about was Adventures of Ford Fairlane, because he was in that as the one guy that's friends with Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, he was.
And he was interesting story.
Oh.
He was telling us that whenever Andrew Dice Clay bought his first house, he was with Dice. So that day, whenever he closed on the house, he was hanging out with Dice, and he's like, "Oh, this is my first house and everything like that." So I thought that was pretty cool.
And I remember he said about Dice how he was so misunderstood. People had that guy all wrong. He said his hand was shaking when he signed the contract.
Yeah,
he was there with him. So yeah, Robert Englund.
Dice isn't a bad dude. Dice gets a lot of shit.
Oh.
Yeah, we got to do a Dice night too.
Oh,
love that dude.
Talk about it.
Well, that about does it for us. But before we go,
quite contrary.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts on A Nightmare on Elm Street? Then we'll get to our clip of the week.
Never gets old.
Never gets old.
Never gets old.
I can watch the movie beginning to end and be entertained.
Probably watch this movie a million times easy.
Yeah.
Iconic. And it's like I said, I love this franchise more. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish it.
God, you're terrifying.
Like I said, it's one of my favorite franchises as far as horror goes. And just the concept to me, if you take away the acting and the character and everything like that, just the concept of terror as far as a film goes, where you can't sleep. Like there's other, if you look at Halloween or Friday the 13th or any of those other films, you're dealing with a monster and you can run away from it or confront it or whatever. But here you have to sleep. That's the scariest thing. Everybody has to sleep. There's no way you can go without sleeping. So at some point you're going to be in that world and you're going to have to face Freddy. So that's one of the scariest concepts to me, because it's you have to. What? That's real terror. All right.
It's like, Mike, this episode was Nightmare on Elm Street, not Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, my bad. and conveniently enough, I've got my horn.
Shit.
It's my car. It's my car.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the dude Into the Dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same horn hand I used in the Enter the Dragon episode, the 50th anniversary.
You didn't put bananas on it
yet. But yes, the concept of not being able to escape this evil, you have to fall asleep at some time. You can't stay awake forever. So I think that's scary within itself. And then you take somebody like Robert Englund, who just makes this character that's so menacing. This franchise is a shit. It's one of my favorites. Fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, 40 years. Congratulations.
Hell yeah, man. All right. That does it for us.
I think
before we go,
movie is.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hold on,
we got to fix your
on. This fucking lag.
Got laggy Jefferson.
Man. Oh, it's fucking pissing me off.
Needs to speak.
Yeah. So fucking.
Hello?
Nightmare on Elm Street. One of the greatest films of all time. With you all, there.
Yeah, you're good.
Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the fucking OG. It's number one. It's fucking great. I love the fucking movie. I'm not a huge fucking fan of the whole franchise, but I do love this movie to death. There we go. Hate Spectrum. There we go.
Fuck Spectrum.
Sounds like your internet's a nightmare.
Oh, okay. So it is now time for our random clip of the week, in which our random clip generator selects a random clip from a random movie. Poor Chuck. I feel bad.
You want to wait for
see what happens from our random clip generator and hope that it doesn't get us kicked off YouTube. So
you want to wait for him?
Oh, wait. Yep, there he is.
Gotta wait for him.
So he can enjoy this as well.
I wasn't leaving without him.
We wouldn't leave without you, Chuck. Okay, random clip time. What do we got?
What do we got? I don't know.
When did Gene Wilder do action movies?
Come on, son.
Yeah.
All right.
The fuck? Okay.
That was garbage.
Yeah. All right.
Who knew Gene Wilder could act that way? I mean, I didn't.
What do we got next week? What are we doing?
Am I getting paid first?
Let's get paid first. We have ads to run because we need money and stuff.
Money.
Hey everybody, Laser Trading Company is on YouTube. See some of the videos from Mike's travels and experiences. If you haven't already, please head over and subscribe. 7,800 and growing. Thank you all. Laser Trading Company is also available on eBay with various merchandise and collectibles. Hundreds of great gift ideas. That's Laser Trading Company. Laser Trading Company. Laser Trading Company. You know him from Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat, Nasty Nation, Graveyard Talk, and the video Store Clerks Podcast. He is the creator of Stoner Gore, Jack Nasty! And if you're looking for the latest in extreme horror, head over to Amazon.com, look up Chuck Nasty, and the following titles are available. Along with the latest album, Decay of Man, from Bastard Sons of a Judas Goat, available on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube now.
Good shit, pal.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
All right. Yeah. What are we doing here at the store next week?
Next week is the third annual Video Store Clerks Thanksgiving special.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Gobble gobble.
Gobble gobble, bitches. And this year we will be talking about Addams Family and Addams Family values.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that actually.
Can we get that down, guys?
I want to reach him for a while. Dax has never seen it. I'm delayed, of course, but
With Chuck's lag, we're well.
I can't do nothing right. Fuck. Fuck Spectrum. All right, we are your clerks. We're getting out of here, but we'll see you next week, Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern. We go live. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you get all our goodies. And, you know, it's free, man. It only takes you a second, but it's all we got. So it means a lot to us. Go ahead. Click it. Click it. Click it. We are your clerks. We're getting out of here. Click the button. Subscribe. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Sweet dreams.
Please fire.
Hello, sir. Oh,